Don't wait. Don't wait till I'm in the hospital. Don't wait. I'm dying. Don't wait. Don't wait. I need your help. Don't wait. Don't wait. Don't wait till I die. Please help me. Don't wait. Don't wait. Don't wait. Don't wait. Don't wait. Don't wait. I need you help me now. Don't wait. Don't wait till I die. Don't wait till I die before you help me. If you want to help me right now. Don't wait, though, sister. Don't wait. I said, don't wait. My brethren, don't wait. Don't wait till I die before you help me. I need your help. Help me right now. I'm in the hospital, lying on my sick bed. I just need you to help me one my life, and Jehovah will bless you. Don't wait till I die to rain cast and get my body to the grave. I said, don't wait when I die before you praise me. Don't wait when I die to cry for me, man. Oh, don't wait when I die to post my photo. This woman was so sick. She was saying got a point of day. I said she went from place to place, but she could not get the treatment she needed. Finally, her son took her to the hospital. In the doctor said they should prefer pound of blood. But this woman could not afford the money. Oh yeah, giving her son could not afford the money. He left the mother at the hospital. He went to family member. He went to Uncle Johnny's place. He said, Uncle, my mother is at you. I left my mother at the hospital. And the doctor said, we should breathe 5 pounds of blood. Uncle, please help my mother. Uncle, help my mother. Uncle, I beg you, help my mother. Please help my mother. Oh, Uncle, help her before she dies. Johnny looked in her face. He said, my son, I don't have no money, oh. My son, no money, oh. What tell your mama say? I don't have no money, oh. I will see what to do. But next week, my son, no money, oh. He went to Auntie Esther's place. He said, Auntie, my mother is dying. I left my mother at the hospital, and the doctor said we should bring 5 pounds of blood. I have come to beg you, Auntie, help my mother. Auntie, please help my mother. Oh, Auntie, help her before she died. Yes, I woke up, entered the house. She brought 500 from her money. She said, my son, I wish you were them. I wish you were them. What tell your mama say? I wish her well.
Let's tap you this here a little bit. Good evening, good morning to Liberia, good evening USA, the other parts of the world. Edward Baker, Musa, our man Peter is right there around Mama Point. Thank you for joining us inside the West African state of the Republic of Liberia. Candidate also, Aaron is in the house. A lot of great people here, Machine, Tobe, Andrew, and the rest of the folks here. We say good evening, to welcome to the show, to Demetrion. Thank you so much. And all of you great people for taking your time off this evening to share your evening with us. But this is the song of the hour by a Liberian gospel artist, and this is what we do. We showcase the qualities and beauties of Liberia. Don't wait.
He left me went to Uncle place. Papa was so rich. He was rich. He had everything to his disposal. He said, Uncle, my mother is on you. I left my mother at the hospital. And the doctor said, we should bring Papa on the floor. Uncle, please, don't allow my mother to die. Uncle, please, don't allow mama to die. Oh. You are my last hope, my last strength, my last hope. Uncle, please, don't allow mama to die. First to die, he looked at the boy. He shrugged his head. He said, my son, I don't have money. I'm getting my salary by next month, my son. I don't have money. Go tell your mama, say, I bet you up on condition.
Oh man, well, just a con to give that money. No money, somebody is trying to rescue life. Mr. Conto, good evening, welcome. Crank out our man, Derek Port, right there from Minneapolis, KW Cole. Good evening, good morning, welcome. This is the Liberia Public Radio, Wednesday editions of All Things Considered. From Wednesday to Wednesday, we cap it and put it into context. And of course, your participation is absolutely welcome. But in the meantime, don't wait.
The boy left. He started crying. He said, oh God, Papa God, this life is not fair. What will not become of my mother? Who would I call my mother? Before he reached out the hospital, his mother was gone. He took his son. He started calling Uncle Paul. He was crying, Uncle Paul, Mama is no more. Mama is gone, and left alone. Mama is gone, no. Oh, Uncle Paul. Mama is no more. He said, sorry, my son, don't worry. Oh. I'm sending her to take her to the funeral. Don't worry, my son. I'm responsible for a funeral. My son, don't worry. Oh. I'm responsible for waking me. Oh, my son. Keep courage, don't worry. Oh. As I said, I will do the dressing. And then
Atlanta, Georgia is in the house. Good evening. Welcome. Don't be part of that vote-seeking numbers to get them to the finishing line. I trust you. You can do that.
Johnny said, I will do the rain. Oh, don't wait. Don't wait. Don't wait. Don't wait. Oh, yeah, don't wait. Don't wait. Don't wait till I
Okay, this is what it is. Don't wait. Delays are dangerous. Welcome to Ruflomot in the house of LPR. Today is Wednesday. It is the May week. Welcome this evening to Wednesday editions. It's All Things Considered. And as usual, to look at some of the news making headline. And we're also going to give you the opportunity to call in here to tell us what you are considering, not necessarily playing by our rules. What is important to you might not be what we might make out of our talking point, but also you are most and absolutely welcome. This is the Liberia Public Radio, Wednesday editions of All Things Considered. Good evening. Welcome to the show. I am Afonso Zienso, your host, anchor, presenter, and chief facilitator in today's edition of All Things Considered right here on the Diaspora Informative News Outlet, Liberia Public Radio. Making news balanced, fair, and proportionate, and giving voices to all to express their views, their opinions. We don't sanction voices or opinion here. All we call for is civility. And of course, that has been the hallmark. And that is, we don't even need to tell you that because you know the rule of this network. We maintain civility here. Today's word, today's conversations require a safer context where we're going to sit around the table and do less entertainment because the theaters are so much, the cinema is not even hosting the citizenry out there. So it doesn't make sense for us to come here and waste your time and waste your precious time as well, right here in the USA, Liberia, other parts of the world. Too much, a lot is ongoing. We need to have a conversations in the honest factions, respecting the views and opinions of all that are going to be part of this conversation. And trust me, your interaction that we monitor, we observe, we go back and read those comments, and it helps us, energize us to do what we are doing. Somebody asking, are you guys getting paid? Well, if everybody are getting paid, nobody will be able to. We got to give back to our country in different forms and different shapes. There will be other there. That's why they have some people that are eating and other people that they're drinking and getting gas or gas in their cell, but that is okay. This is the heavily contested building that all eyes come to 2023. October 10th is the election. We don't know yet. There are some other political parties, no running mate. A lot of conversations, backyard talking is ongoing. All it comes down to is trust. And when trust is lacking, there is apprehension. And when there is apprehension, the uncertainty, nobody knows, they don't know what to do. They want to go there. Literally like 10 months. And it is weird that we do not know the second for some of the political parties and those that are contesting, we do not know the next person who will be by their side. And it is important. We should not be surprised overnight. Some sort of overnight deal. That's how some of these concessions are signed. And at the end of the day, blame game, I was in there before I came. Okay, you was in there. Bad things took place. That is why you are a lawmaker. You are the first branch of government. So there's no provision to call these people to have to revisit contract concession. It is inexcusable. See what is happening. We do not have much here. We are trying our best to lay hands on some of those documents, but a lot of conversation, explanations, holding state witnesses, calling names is already playing out because they want to wash their hands out of the dirt. The dirt is already there. Interestingly, there are some who have been there and we know who they are, what they represent. And that's what Liberian politicians are very clever noted of doing. When they are there's a black cloth on their face, like this black t-shirt, I'm mourning for those bad behaviors, bad policies, continuing to reign and rule the life of our people. And then when they are out of the bell wheel, they sit on major platform and become chief advocates to be the good guy. But you were there. You saw that happen. You are a prominent person of the county. It's not just only complaining, and that's the role of an adult or prominent person in the community. Do not will until it becomes crisis and you want to manage it. We are not noted of managing crisis, but we invite, we embrace, we dine, we do everything with crisis, and when it comes, oh, I was not part of that. Then you become the chief advocate to present yourself to the citizenry, to the people, that you are not one of those. Absolutely, Ella, you lie. You are one of those. You didn't do much. This is why when you are adult and you are a older person in the community, even if your neighbor is in trouble, you intervene to put it under control and settle the score. You finish, you wear your town chief, a Nigerian man suit, what do call, what's the name of the suit? The liberal will know it. I will bring him in here. And then you sit there and you think you are not part of it. You are part and parcel. You were even told. What was your intervention? We're not stupid. No. We're not stupid. After all of your swamp, you were in a day, and some kind of way, the people got tired and say, you know what? You too muddy up. Go and go get shower. We're kicking you out of the house because what we ask you to do, you are not doing it. And then after 1 year, 2 months, 6 months, you come with your fancy suit. You think the people of Burma is stupid or the people of Liberia? It is a challenge to the electorates. We are not just going to frown on the executive branch of government. They have their part to play. But the lawmakers, they are our direct representatives. Whether we voted for or against, as long you are a lawmaker of Grand Jide County, as long you are a lawmaker for Bomi County, you are already cut through that political gap. You are for all. Now, forget about who voted for you or not. This is sad. As soon as they hear about money or whatever thing, and everybody look like a gravel ants. They're all shaking. They will not read the concession. They will not take it home. They will not share notes because they are all not from the same party. So it's a taboo, which is so bad to say caucus people. They don't even talk to one another. Yet you say you represent the people, you represent your country. How the heck there will be a development, there will be a consensus, there will be an engagement with the people when you there representing the people, you can't even talk to one another. When it comes to crisis, then you want to try to unite forces. This is ridiculous. And we have to be tolerant. We, us, you, me, all of us, having these conversations to create an eye-opening scenario where our people, our job is to tell them, and they should make an informed decision. We shouldn't do it with anger. We should do it with good tolerance and listen to their side of the story as well, in as much some of them will sound so ridiculous. When we draw that line of reasonings and logical thinking, why are people making some decisions or choices they are making? The show is about to get underway. Stay tuned. I'm Afonso Zienso. Okay, all things considered, the liberal progressive from Sacramento, California is here this evening. I can guarantee you what's going to happen. That way makes him liberal. He's involved. He's unstable. He's unbalanced. I am not making up. Those are his own words. Let me go to Saxton, Sacramento, the most liberal on this network. Samson Blaku Branto is here. In tonight's editions of All Things Considered, I have no idea what he's considering. Let me bring in the liberal. Oh man, I love that business suit. Are you going to contest to be representative or senator for Grand Jide?
I am already senator representative for Grand Jide, Mr. So.
Where?
I don't have to contest.
Where? Here?
In Grand Jide.
The senator that based in the U.S. Okay, the liberal, good evening and welcome. And we say welcome to all our viewers, listeners, whatever you are. We say thank you so much for joining us. Your commitment, Mr. Hinint, welcome, Toba, Kringat, and all of you. Dr. George Toto, Ambassador to Roosevelt Dan. Ambassador, we have not heard for him. He was in his own plan. I think I don't know whether he contesting or he What he doing now? We need to hear from the ambassador. We need to hear from him. I got to reach out to him. Well, we need to hear from him what's going on. Whether the role is racking out. Okay. This is All Things Considered, airing live here on the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. The Liberal Progressive, good evening. How are you doing today?
Good, Mr. So. I'm doing great. Thank God. God is always in control. When God continues to bless you, nobody can stop it. And I just want to thank God for the blessing and the grace and protection that he continues to show on all of us. And I want to thank God for that.
Okay, so let's have a little bit of time here. The man from Zulu Whiskey said, Baswa man is in our good evening and welcome our man Jennington to Blade. Momo. These are people, I'm out of words trying to express the commitments of these people. In as much sometimes the liberal sounds so ridiculous here, but still they don't give up. So that alone itself, please, you don't have to respond. And sometimes you got to let go. Don't be like Donald Trump. Don't pay attention to any little thing that we say, because it looks like you're about to respond. So how was, let's see here, how was the job today? We got to, besides this thing, we got a full time that we are all doing. We all engage in like every other one group of people watching here. Some people still awake and they still manage to listen because of the interest of the culture. To welcome our own Mami Esther Tapemo. These are our prompt and followers, viewers, listeners. Thank you so much for coming. Okay, let's get down to the wire here. Too much going here. What are you looking at?
Mr. So.
What do you have an outsider when you on a program who is trying to feed you with information, or you have some kind of secret part that we don't know? This network is not a Nicodemus network. You always communicating and doing stuff with people. Who are those people you're talking with? Russians or who?
Right now, as I speak to you, I'm communicating with the President of the Republic of Liberia, the former Vice President of the Republic of Liberia, the Senator of a senior senator of Grand Bassa County, and a radio talk show host, one of the finest of Liberia. I'm also in touch with many high personality. I don't deal with a lot of plebeians, Mr. So. The liberal don't deal with a lot of plebeians. I try to go higher up. So you and your people are going to be jealous of me for a while, but I'm the most loved on this LPR platform, Mr. So, if I may say so.
You done?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Flomo say, when you're writing, when your boss, who is many, those people that you're dealing with that you can't call their knee, and you're looking down upon the people, those are the people that lifted you when you are going up. Okay, so welcome. This is All Things Considered. As usual, every Wednesday we here to have a wide range of issues, conversation. Yeah, I'm yet to get hold of the document relative to what is happening in this Western cluster here. But a lot of conversation is.
Let me, Mr. So, I have little experience in that concession business in Liberia. I remember one time, and I do have those documents still here with us. I remember when Grand Jide Mountain, sometimes referred to as Puru Mountain concession, came about, and the county officials decided to send that to the Grandidian diaspora to review. And the administration, I believe it was Honorable Timmons Collins, set up a committee to review that. And we spent, I was member of that committee. We spent months trying to review that and see what are some of the things that are good for the people, and what are some that are a trap for the people, and what are some of the things that perhaps they need to reject. And we did all we can. I spent days and nights on this here trying to, because we were each given a portion of what we need to do and give our suggestion. We did all then send it back. I've yet to receive or to see anything. What I think is happening in that country, Mr. So, is this. I watched a little bit of our sister network tonight again on the Western Cluster. I think this is thing that they, and I'm glad that it's coming up at this time. I'm glad that these kinds of stuff are coming up at this time. If you listen to Honorable Samuel Johnson, former Senator of Bombing, to say to the people of Bombing, and it's not coming from a liberal, it's not coming from somebody like me, to say you're not listening to people coming and giving you beck of rice and giving you oil. These people are, I mean, then this is someone who served in the government. If he can identify things that we've been saying and we've been talking about for months and years, if he can come on a public platform such as the Spoon Network to make that kind of pronouncement, then it is serious. However, interesting thing is happening right now. Interesting thing is happening. The people are bombing themselves have identified the kinds of problem they're having. Not only are they having some medical issue according to report, but they see that these things are money-making tools, the iron ore, money-making, and people are trucking it. What I couldn't fathom for them to truck iron ore from wherever it is to go through I don't call it Bushra Island. And the last time I checked, because I've done some serious looking into the last time I checked, the structure section of that road is not strong enough to take that kind of load of the truck carrying the weight of the iron ore. And so the question is, when you enter Monrovia, going to Freeport, whatever area their finding destination will be, who's responsible for the damage? Because eventually the soil underneath the what people call quota, it will shear, just like you cut something like you cut sugarcane, it will shear. Because the weight of that roll, the weight of the truck cannot be supported by this with the structure section that is currently in place. And so, Mr. So, when you look at all kinds and you listen the way people are talking, and then you have the Minister of Public Work, who is a dear sister as well, to come and say they're fixing the road. And when you ask them, what exactly do you mean fixing? You mean widening? You mean reconstruction? Or you mean just rehab? What exactly are they doing? They will not answer. They started that same thing with East International. When they started building the East International, I made so much noise in the place, they didn't listen to me. Here we are now. Exactly what I was predicting is coming to pass. East International, first of all, has no capacity. Secondly, I knew very well that they were going to mess that road up because the way they started their staging process was all wrong. It's the same thing with the cluster concession issue. So we'll see.
Let's tap into your expertise because I try to visit all components, all things that is involved in that. Let's look at the technical aspect. It's good you brought that because I heard one of them talking, oh, the road doing this. So I kind of like wonder if these people go into agreement, they're going into these sort of things. How do they review these documents? Is there something, or did you just hear the money, the amount involved, and then they give them that photo, and everybody just like signing, and they don't even know why they're signing, the danger involved, the replications, the long term, the short term, the long term effect, and all of that, why it's going to happen. Let's look at that. That shouldn't even happen in the first place. So the Sandro Johnson, all of those people, I don't get it. I'm not. I really do not show what is the essence. Why is he explaining now? What is the case is he making? What they can give into, it's fair to give in the the opportunity. But to see or position himself, what I'm saying, try to send out now, try to position himself. Oh, this thing here, he's had nothing to do with it. He do this, it, blah blah blah. It just doesn't make sense. I think the people of Bomi and its environment, people within our cluster now, they are the ones to speak. And this comes to the point we were talking about yesterday here. These so-called advocates we do not have a strong union in the country, people who stand for human values, who believe in a cost to say, yes, this must happen no matter what. I am not talking in the context of violence, but to engage your people and make your government to listen to you. Let's look at a technical aspect. I see nowhere that people will be taking iron ore and just from passing through. And I know before you get to the port, whatever, they got to go through Douala and all of those places. I imagine the dust or things that are coming out there, people, it goes into people's nostril and all of those things. Not to even mention, you know it better than I do, the weight being put on that road. So why all of these factors were saying considered that even it will be damaging to the road, that they should have done something from there where it can be transported to the port instead of passing through in the city center? Nowhere, nobody, no country, nobody going to allow that. And all of these lawmakers, out of trying to wash their hand out of it, it doesn't make no sense. I'm not going to give them any sort of credence to see that they want to wash their hand out of it. The son of Johnson in his chief boatswain suit, sitting down there talking, and if you're not doing anything now, I will not talk for you. When you started talking for the people, when? That's what they do. When they are in authority, they don't listen to their people. They don't pay attention. They become very intransigent. They become heartless. But when they are outside of the system now, then they turn to advocate, then they turn to opposition, then they turn to be people who are there speaking for people. That's hypocrisy.
Well, Mr. So he has, as a citizen of Liberia and as a citizen of Bomi, he also have the right to express himself freely, which is he's doing. Despite the fact that he served in the same position, overseeing some of the stuff as a lawmaker, which is doing check and balances. You can go back and even and say, what have you done? But that does not negate the fact that he has the right to express himself and to question all of these things that you're saying. But my problem is, Mr. So, they're barking on the wrong tree, because you can, if you take West, I'm not a lawyer, but if you take Western Custer to court, you're going to have to spend a lot of money, because first of all, Western Custer didn't come to Liberia overnight or on the darkness. These people were brought in, and they were given paper to do what they're doing. All of those things are in, and that's why Senator Johnson is complaining that after they have the first document, there's a second document that came up and eliminated all of the things that he said Senator Johnson and other people lobby for to put in that first document. And now the second document supersedes, according to him, the first document. As a result, the people are operating based on document. They're not. You're not going to come and drive them out of there. Your best bet at this point, make them your friends so that you all can work together, because they're also coming from a country and they know the rules. But the people who sign that document that the people are operating with, these are the people that you need to bark against. And where do you go to do that? Will be during the election. If you blame the executive, give them one term and one term on it. However, Mr. So, and so I'm just saying, backing at that and say you're going to take Western Custer to court and think that people that you need to take to court, if you want to do the court business, take the Liberian EPA to court. You can do that, and then bring the documents, the unsafe operational factors that are involved in the operational process of this old trucking business. That you can litigate that in a court of law. But to say the people have no right to do what they're doing, that I don't agree with. Now, let me speak on the aspect of transporting these ore from one point to another. You can do that. You can do that. Depends on how you want to do it. Now, you're talking about development, which we've all been crying for. And the opportunity is there. This is why I've been crying on these Liberian officials from time to time, Mr. So. They talk about development, but they do not have a developmental mind to expand on things that they need to do. For example, you have the iron ore coming from Bomi, coming to the free port. Why can't you put track down? And that track could be used for multi-purpose, multi-purpose track, where you do iron ore, and then you can also do commercial transportation. That can happen. You can share the track. You can share the track with the iron ore, because the iron ore train will not be running 24 hours. They run from one point to another. They have to turn around. You can make that arrangement. While you're running, coming this way, our people are going, and at a certain point, we're gonna make that bigger. When you get to that point, we get there. We give you way. You go through. We go with our human transportation process. That's development. But you're gonna truck or from wherever you're coming from to Freeport, then that truck going back will be empty. Why? The people in that area would need zinc, would need cement, would need other material. Why is it that the truck that brought it all will go back empty? Why can't you load it up if that's how you want to do it? These are things you have these kinds of conversation. If you have the conversation like that, to say, fine, if you're going to use the truck, first of all, let's fix the road. That has not happened. And that road going to be torn apart easily.
So you said they should load the truck, load it up with what?
Well, I'm just giving you an example. The truck coming in, bringing the company iron ore. When they're going back, they're empty. They're not taking any other stuff. But yet still, when you go to the parking lot, there are people from that area that want to buy zinc, want to buy cement, want to buy other material to develop their area. Why can't it be, okay, you take iron ore, when you're coming back, bring certain thing for the county? That's negotiation, Mr. So. I'm very serious about that.
Wait a minute. That's not something. Are you saying the truck that takes the ore to the port, when they're coming by, citizens from in that area that buying their goods, they should put them on the iron ore truck and take it?
Why not? Why is it going by empty? What's the purpose of that? It's still going to spend the same gas. The gasoline, usage does not depend on the weight.
We should start mixing iron ore with stuff now. Okay. Let's see. I will put a number out here that I'm calling here. I mean, just you gotta learn to be coming.
But let me go on. Let me say something about the road itself.
Can I get over with this?
Please go ahead. Go ahead.
I will try to put a number out here so people will speak on a variety of issues here. Okay, go ahead. Is that Keta?
Yes.
Okay. Good evening. Welcome.
Good evening.
The question to Keta is, why is he not coming on with us anymore? He's now hidden himself behind a phone now. What's the deal with that?
No, at this point I'm driving. That's why I don't want to come on video. But when I get to my destination, I'll switch to the video. So Mr. Tony, Liberal Progressive, I'm sorry. How you doing?
Fine. Good evening, sir.
So are you there?
Yeah, hearing you. Go ahead.
Okay, so this is the thing, right? You see, when we talk about these things, we gotta come here with a lot of information to educate our people. We gotta be sincere with this code and all that, right? So what I gathered from Western Cluster, now 2011, when they signed the MD, right? There were certain things that were placed in the MD that Western Cluster felt that they could not do at that point in time. They negotiated with the government at that time that, look, okay, we're not going to do the rail. We're going to truck the ore, and we'll do it for 3 years. And from there, we'll start working on the rails to leave from wherever Bomi through Cape Mount and end up to the Atlantic Ocean where they were they will build our track and build a port to keep their ore. And something happened between the line there where they have Ebola and all the other whole 9 yards. Now, when Edwin Snow went to negotiate with them, the government had to do a MOU with them, a memorandum of understanding with them. And the MOU was not there to change anything in the MD. The MOU was only there to strengthen the MD by telling them, say, look, okay, you got to fulfill your corporate responsibility, right? One, to help to upgrade the college to university, to help to fix the road, and all the different money that you owe in taxes, your area, you got to pay all those things. These are things that the MOU spoke about. Now, if you listen to the Burmese citizen, the actual Burmese citizen, they are not concerned about the trucking of the ore. What they are concerned about is the employment. They want that Burmese to have 100% employment. The citizen of Burmese to have 100% employment. But this is the thing I have problem with. Who is Samuel Johnson to speak on this issue? He has no integrity to speak on this issue for Burmese County.
Mr. So, I need to step in if Carter is listening. I'm sorry to interrupt, Carter, but I think at this time, your statement, you have the right to question the ability of Honorable Sano to speak, but I can say this clearly to you as liberal, that he's a citizen of the Republic of Liberia, number one, and he's a citizen of Burma, number two. So he has the right to say whatever he's saying. Now, your point is so ridiculous, let me put it this way, in that you will come here to try to defend the MOU and whatever other documents they have. Samuel Johnson and his people, these are people that live there. You're telling me that they don't care about the trucking, they only care about jobs? Is that what you're what you're saying here about people of Burma? Burma people are just greedy for jobs? Is that how we should interpret it? That's ridiculous, Carter, because this is what I'm saying to you. Let me finish, then you can come and reply to that. But this is what I'm saying to you. These people, the oak has issues. So if the people are trucking, according to Mr. Johnson, the oak they're trucking, they do not even have trampling over the oak. The dust alone, forget about the dust from the oak, the dust alone from the road, and you don't see any kind of water truck here in the United States or any other developing country. When they're making these kinds of dust, they have a water truck to cool down the dust so that the dust do not affect people. And you're going to come here and they say the people don't care for their health. All they care about is work. That is ridiculous. And as a liberal, that is unacceptable.
All right.
Thank you.
Let him make his point now too. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, liberal. So this the point here. And I will correct you on some issue. We have been living in dust for hundreds of years.
So
we have been living in dust.
So hold on one second. We've been living in dust. So
I'm listening.
Would you continue to live in dust?
No. That's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
No, but by even using that word, it sounds.
But he's a sedition. What do you expect out of these people? They got nothing to offer but to tell us these people have been living in dust before, therefore they will continue to live in dust. Yeah, go ahead. I'm listening.
Make your point. Go ahead. Sorry for that interruption. I was just a little bit.
No, I said we have been living in dust for so long, and we have never heard people complain that the dust that we've been living in was giving our people tuberculosis and all that stuff. Lima County, Bom County, all the different counties. There's not one day for any of us, whether you are in government or outside government, to complain about that. What I'm trying to say here today is all the same information that we're all gathering here from all the people concerned about this thing. All right. But what I'm trying to talk about, Samuel Johnson, and you interrupted me, Liberal Progressive. Samuel Johnson speaking for the people of Burma. The very Samuel Johnson was on audio negotiating with somebody to take up $30 million bribe because of land deal with the Guru's rubber plantation over there on audio. Forgot that the Burmese people needed opportunities and development in the county. The very Samuel Johnson did not alter anything To the contrary, when our MD was signed, you understand? He didn't alter that. Now he coming out to push the narrative about these people. When I listen to the bombing citizens or town hall meeting they had, the people were concerned that these company or the company in question did not employ bombing citizens 100%. They had Ghanaians, they had Guineans. They wanted bombing citizens to be employed. They were concerned about employment. The politician, the Fagon.
So was that the only Yeah, we said only employment.
And the Fagon and the Lex were the ones who were pushing the propaganda that the road were flying on, the road would be damaged. And in fact, they were passing the road, which are not true. All of and that's the point I'm making. I'm not in favor of these companies coming to Liberia and taking our natural resources. And I always preach to our politicians. And Mr. Tor, if Mr. Tor will listen to me carefully, he will understand that I'm not in support of them. But what I'm saying here, how is it that we as Liberians, as educated as we are sitting in America and some in Liberia, why will we allow these companies to come and extract our natural resources? We're all building processing plants on the side to employ our people.
Keta,
yes.
You say, why we Liberian in America, why would we sit?
Yeah, why we sit? Because now.
So, okay, so let me ask you.
Right?
So,
yes.
So are you sitting too?
No, I'm advocating, and I've been saying it. I said first in some of my podcasts that I had, Firestone should not be even taking our natural rubber and just carrying their.
Yeah, no, okay. Saying it is one thing, but if you say why should we sit, what specifically you are requesting or you trying to push here?
Because sit first, I'm LPR, right? LPR bring senators on this platform. We talk to these people. These people are opinion leaders. They are leaders of our people. We say some things to them. Do they go back and to say to our people or encourage or build in the house, I will stop these kind of corrupt practices against our Liberian people or themselves? We don't do that. Our people sit here and all we do is like something to talking about the role and they get it up. The real thing is they can do the mining, but they must build factory in those areas that will employ a lot of people so we can make finishing product and sell to the outside world. These things will not happen if it will do those things. Bombing County will be a flourishing county. Bombing County will have a lot of people working. Okay,
before I let you go here, all of these things here, I will sit down here and cry like a little chihuahua from morning to night, which we are already doing. Sometimes we, at the end of the day, end up taking painkillers just to sweat, and then we come back the next day to stress our vein. The bottom line, when they go into these concessions or this agreement here, who has the final authority to legalize the arrangement? What do you think?
Well, I'll be honest with you, the legislature, because it derives from the executive and it goes to the legislature for final approval, right? So the legislature has to put the foot down. So look, and that's what I keep saying. These people were in office. The Senator Johnson, he couldn't see that. Okay,
let's see Senator. Yeah, I understand that part. Yeah, Senator was there. What's about the people? Yeah, what's about our officials? What's about our people who also that have the ability to, if they review and they find out that something is not right, to say, oh, no, this is a red flag. This does not represent Liberia. This is not in the interest of the people in the Western cluster or bombing or even the country. Now we are talking about bombing. We don't know in the next couple of days or week. We don't know what's going to pop up with other places. There are a lot of places, a lot of things going on. And the first branch of government, our executive, they are not just being there because more or less they're just there for little or nothing that they're going to get. So why now we hold those people responsible as well? Because they are the finisher. They are the finisher of this whole this what we are talking about here today.
So that's you can go out to look for concession agreement. They bring it to the country. It is the House of Representatives, the Senate should rectify all these things and make sure they work in the interest of the people they represent. Now, if I was in that house, or if Mr. Tor was in that house, we will be saying to this company that will come.
Okay, let me take you from in the house. Let me take you in the house. I gotta go back to the people here. Let me take you from the house. Let me put you in the overall office. A lawmaker from Grand Gide. Sese is a lawmaker from Lofa County. You are the chief executive. You run the day-to-day affairs of the country. The president also pushes the agenda. They do the lobbying, even with people in the both lower and upper, which is not an illegal one to do. If you were a president of the Republic of Liberia, and see other days here, snow, the sun, everybody did that, and it comes to your decks, what would be your final decision-making process?
So in the first place, you will know this, if our president in the deal already been signed, the president, I'm just over there to see that because it's a legal document now. Those people, deal already signed 2011. The president are there right now, look at the deal and say, okay, you know what? This is a legal instrument. It has already been signed. But look, let's modify a little bit so our people can benefit. And that's what this administration did. The administration was not the one that brought this company in brand new.
That's not the point, Keto. Okay, come here. Let us see face to face. Let's see Kolo here. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, so I will come in. Let me just end this conversation.
Okay, 30 seconds. So I will go to my analyst. 30 seconds.
I think moving forward, concession companies or our executive and the legislature should put Liberia interest first. Any concession company that comes to that country that want to take natural resources should be able to build processing plant in our country to process the raw material into finishing product. I think they will serve our country better. It will serve the people of our country better instead of them extracting and going, because it will leave holes in the ground. The example is LMP from long time in the 80s in Burma, 70s and 80s in Burma.
So lastly,
and Burma got any benefit.
So lastly, if you were the one that were inducted into office 2017, and you found out your intel, the national security apparatus, and even international community brief you, or President Keto, there is a plan here, Sierra Leone, Guinea is about to launch a nuclear war here, but this is it. The ball is in your court. What are you going to do?
Well, if I know it's not in the interest and it's against human or survival, I'm not going to sign. I'm not going to fix my signature. I'm going to oppose it. I'm going to oppose it.
Thank you so much. Join us here. Let's have a conversation. Gentlemen, this is the problem. This is how this whole country, because everybody, for whatever reasons, he was just talking about this thing. Everybody tries to protect their own. They are unable to even say, even though I support this person here, but this one here, it was not right, for God's sake. Let's start a conversation. Sister, good evening, welcome. Let me get you into this fry here because a lot of freaking you out here as well.
How you doing? I wanted Keto to be on to hear my response to him, but these days you're doing hit and run. You're doing guerrilla warfare. You can't hang up and you go do a different thing. But let me hear you. So let me first. I agree with the Liberal on a whole lot of points he made. Keto, I don't know what the point Keto is trying to make. On one hand, he's trying to say Sandra Johnson has no place to speak on this because he was there when the deal was negotiated. Wasn't President George Weah, Senator George Weah, when this deal was negotiated? Didn't he have a say in it as a senator? And now acting as a president? And he is saying that they came up with an MOU to address certain issues, but it didn't change the original agreement. The only reason you sign an MOU when you already have an agreement is to alter the original agreement. And so if he's now saying that they should have in place a mechanism where these products are processed in Liberia, why didn't they include that in the MOU? When they brought the MOU, why did they include it in there? And this is so insulting to the people of Liberia for Keto to say we've been with dust all the time and people have not complained. Keto, I'm from Lofa County. We've always complained about dust. There are so many studies that talk about the effect of dust on the reproductive, on the breathing system. Okay, people develop bronchitis. People develop a lot of stuff. So to come here and say flippantly that the people have been living with dust all this time, I think is disrespectful in so many ways.
I don't know.
Very disrespectful in so many ways, right? The people, in fact, when Snow spoke the last time, Snow gave credit to the government. Snow said that McGill worked backward, inside out for this MOU. So that means the government had a fingerprint on it. Snow gave credit to Musa Dean. Snow gave credit to the government. And so the people, I came from Bombay. My father-in-law lives in Bombay. When I went to Monrovia Library recently, I lived in Bombay for 2 weeks. Right by his house is where the old trucks pass. People have been complaining about these iron old trucks passing in the middle of the number one, the speed, number two, the dust, the environmental impact problem, and then they talk about the jobs. Just looking at one discussion and say that people had this town hall, so therefore they were not concerned. Has he seen all of the writings that come from the Bombay Association and Bombay citizens? I think Keto got nothing to defend, and I think this is bad. We can all believe in our leaders and still call them out when they're wrong. Nobody's saying that this is a George Weah problem. So I don't know why you're running to defend George Weah. We are saying that the people of Bombay are saying that this deal is not in their interest. And by the way, every contract you sign has a clause on how you can get out of it. So people just got to look and see, did the MOU violate the spirit of the first contract? The fact that the railroad has not been built in the time frame it was designed to be built, did that violate the spirit of the contract? Because the MOU came in to excuse these people for not having built the railroad, and that's what Keto is trying to walk around, say, oh, Ebola happy and all the other thing there, and we came with MOU. The MOU was to change that.
MOUs are liable to revisitations. So it's just an excuse. In fact, somebody called me this evening and they were trying to give me some information, but it was just in time I was getting ready to get the program going. And I hope to count on that, because this whole thing here is not an issue of President Weah, to say it started from Helens. And I was shocked of some of the revelations I was getting. The argument they were making, the ministers, the people were popular were, oh, the thing here you can't do, those sort of same way of Liberian way of doing stuff. I mean, we're not going for a beauty pageant. Who are you doing? We're talking serious thing here. You're facing your court. Oh man, this guy, man. That's a distraction, yeah.
But and I think, to a bigger point, the last time we said that over here, I can come on here. I don't always have to see the wrong in George Weah government. I don't have to believe that George Weah government and the CDC have done nothing good in order for me to be in opposition. I think that is a disservice to the Liberian people. And the flip side of that is people who only see that everything this government has done is right. And they were bent inside backward. You see what he's saying? That we Liberian people, we sit down here and we just talk, and you ask him what is he doing? He say advocating. So only he advocating. So we're talking about advocating. And then he said, we bring these senators here and they go by, they don't do nothing. So he's trying to take this whole thing and just put it only at the first branch of government, forgetting that Edwin Snow was giving credit to McGill, to everybody for the MOU. The government had a fingerprint on it. It is just sad. And I hope my brother Keto can come on so we can talk this thing face to face. Not working.
Mr. So I want to point out some observation here, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Okay. Sese is talking, and in the background, there's a little girl also talking. And I strongly believe that this girl, and I want to advise all of the young people about her age to watch out, because she's going to be tough. Sese yelling, she's yelling. She's not, she wants to make sure that she's heard. She's not somebody that will be sitting behind in the back of the classroom. I don't think so. So I just want to put that out there. I just want to make that observation. But Mr. So, let me just say this here. This whole issue with Carter and the rest of them, I keep saying that they like to put their foot in their own mouth. CDC like to expose themselves. They got nothing to offer. The CDC, 2 weeks ago, I was a little bit shaking about whether they're going to be reelected and they're powerful. But from what I'm reading and what I'm seeing, I think they're in trouble.
Tomorrow you will come back here, you will change your statement.
Well, Mr. So, that's what, if I see something, don't worry about it. If I see something that is not right, I will say so. That's what I do. I'm a liberal. But anyhow, let me go on. So the fact that Carter, I'm glad that he was not on TV, because you would have felt sorry for him, because his face would have been twisting, his body would have been twisted. He had a problem. He has problem trying to defend this stuff. You sitting there and say, we Liberian, we been behind Dawson 19, we? So what? So now we should still do that? No, enough is enough. Now, I'm not blaming CDC for the entire bad deal of this thing. We have Firestone, as correctly stated.
Johnson Sirleaf.
People have always taken advantage of Liberia. We have good things over there. But here's what I want people to know. Liberians are not sleeping. Young, especially my hopes is with the young people, young Liberian. That country will be changed, and Nigeria and Ghana, and they better watch out. Because if Liberian turn around and try to put place structure that will govern that country, in the 70s, in the 60s and 70s, people used to leave from other countries to come and study in Liberia. Because Liberia then at that time, the people, even if they I call it Lamco and stuff, they used to have people over there that don't even want to go back to their home from Europe. It's not only the country is good, but if that country get hold of the democracy process that we're all fighting for, where people will be willing to go send people to jail for stealing, government official going to jail for stealing, you will see that country, the development process in that country will take off. Even in this hard time, President, we have time where things are not correct. You walk in the street of Monroe, you see rebar sticking out everywhere. People are still building. People are still doing business in Liberia. Nobody's giving up on Liberia. So Western cluster or W cluster or Eastern cluster, it doesn't matter. Things will change. Liberia, better days ahead of us. And I'm glad the best thing that I'm enjoying sitting here, and I'm enjoying that, and I ask God to give me more life to enjoy myself, is to sit here and listen to these young people condemning things that when we were growing up, you can't. Actually, you go stay in the street of Monrovia. In the street of Monrovia, and you walking, you are rare. They're taking you to the police station because they think you now smoke the bar cigarette. If you're walking in the street of Monrovia and your eye red, they're taking you. You think you're able to do that kind of thing again today? No.
You said it now smoke what in the bar cigarette?
Yeah, bar cigarette. and those days too, it was frightening because they said when you do the bar cigarette, you go to jail for 7 years. Why would you want to touch that stuff? You know? So, but nowadays, the young people, their eyes are open. You can't fool them anymore. Mr. So, I'm glad that the liberal is here, and I'm truly enjoying myself. And Prince Double want me to talk about Grand Gida Forest. Prince Double, please. I don't want to get in trouble. I'm getting ready to go to Grand Gida very soon. I'm coming to come say anything, and people can start questioning me. I don't want no problem. So I'm not talking about it.
So on this thing though, you know. This is where sometimes you want to be so PR sensitive that you turn things against yourself, right? This whole Western cluster stuff. When people start turning it into a sedition versus an opposition thing, this is where we have the problem. The people of Bomi, there are a lot of them who voted for CDC. There are a lot of seditions in Bomi. I don't think this discussion that they brought up was about that to say that CDC government is inept. They brought this up knowing fully well that when this deal was signed, President George Weah was not president. They know that. So instead of people coming up here to make it look like it's an opposition versus CDC and try to sit around the table and tell the people, okay, here is what is in the original document, here is what is in the MOU. Where do you folks think that we need to lead from? And have that conversation as the government talking to its people versus people coming out like Keto and trying to spin the thing like it's a CDC thing. It's not a CDC thing. Nobody thinks that it was George Weah who signed this deal. It is not.
But it's interesting, you know, if the more they do that, the more they things tie around their neck.
But they usually take their own, they go for their own self fight. This is not even a fight that should come down to CDC stuff. This thing has been, even Snow, when Snow was talking about it, Senator Snow, if I later on say he doesn't want to be on a negotiation team anymore, he talked about it as him being a senator and talking to his people. So I don't know when this thing became, a CDC stuff. And I will hope no opposition politician is taking the thing to be like a CDC versus the Bombing County people thing, because it's not. This is the Bombing County people thing, looking at the fact that they have been shortchanged from LMC, from NOIC. I went to school in Tubmanburg. I lived in Tubmanburg for the most of my life. So I seen when NOIC left. I seen when LMC left. And the people don't want to be like that. In fact, there was one lady was speaking on one of the programs. She said that the people can call a bombing hole instead of bombing hills, because the people are taking all their oils from the hill and they left them under holes and they left. And so this is something that I think we're all supposed to be talking about and see how can we learn from this? What can we learn from this so that going forward, when other deals are signed for Wologizi, for Nimba, so that we know what's in it and that it benefits the people, instead of coming here to say the people being breathing dust all the time, and also we're supposed to continue breathing dust. And what studies have there been to show that breathing dust has an effect on the respiratory system? That is very sad.
And just let me say the other stuff here in terms of development. One of the things that these people would do, and they know it because they know exactly what they're doing. These mining companies go to the counties and stuff like that. First thing, before you get to the iron ore, you have to remove the topsoil. That topsoil can be utilized somewhere else easily. Then when you remove the topsoil, you come to another type of soil, which you can use to build roads. You can use that to build roads. So not just getting to the iron ore alone, they use machine to get to that. Why can't you say, okay, you're getting to the iron ore, that's fine. Let's utilize some of your machine to build our roads. Why can't we make this thing a win-win situation? Why do we have to fight? Because there are certain people short-minded. They just want the money. As long as they get something, they don't care what happens next. And so the foreigner, you can't blame them. Any kind of thing they want to make money. That's the nature. They want to make the maximum profit they can get. Nothing else. They are not there to come kumbaya with you. They're there to make money. So as long as your lawmakers, the people who representing you, giving them that privilege to make the money without spending anything more than they have to, they're happy. They can't do anything else. So it's us, the Liberian. We the one need to turn around. And I think people in Bombing should help the Liberian people. Punish those lawmakers that are coming back to you for re-election. If you believe they have not done anything good in your interest, show to the rest of the Liberian that if you're representing us and you don't do good, this is what's going to happen to you. Let Bombing be a test case for the entire country. Unless the people are doing good, re-elect them. But if they're not doing good for you, majority of you believe these people are not doing good, don't re-elect them. And let the other Liberian counties in Liberia, and the citizens of other counties in Liberia see this as an example and forget about cup of rice and mere chicken soup, cup of rice and chicken soup.
So there are 3 counties involved in this, though. I think the Snow talk about $750,000 going to Cape Mount and $750,000 going to Bapolu. Those counties also should make their lawmakers pay. They should when they go to vote, they should hold them accountable. And I think every lawmaker across the country, because this thing was passed in the House by everybody voted on it, whether you're from Lofa County or whether you're from the Putu range or not. So they all should be made to account. This is not right. And they should not just this thing should not be tied around the neck of George Weah and the CDC government alone. Everybody should share in this blame.
And I think it comes to the point yesterday where we were talking labor union organizations or advocacy group. I see it literally there's none, because time to stand up for their people, they don't. But let's see here, let's listen to it, courtesy of some of our sister network. When this thing, when it happens, they just leaves us with job exercise, explanation to provide whatever reason. Albeit online TV, courtesy, Snow was in a major town hall meeting with people. Let's listen to some of his argument here.
Is it playing?
You're not getting the voice?
No, I'm not hearing it.
Okay, hold on. There's something. Okay. So you wasn't getting the audio? Okay, I will bring the video on. Let's see. Let's go to the caller yet. 757 number caller. Are you there?
Yes, I am, Mr. So. This is Mr. Houston Brooks calling you from Honolulu, Hawaii.
Ooh, Mr. Brooks. How is no, I thought Alaska. I'm about to ask for Sarah Pella. Okay.
It's nice, nice weather, nice weather.
Okay, good.
But look,
good to hear from you. Yeah, let's hear from
I have been following today. Today I have the privilege to, have time, and I'm following you and the Labor and Mr. C. Goya discussing the Western Cluster deal that has been in the news recently, and I'd just like to give my 2 cents.
Absolutely, you're in. Welcome back. We appreciate
why I still do not I'm not fully schooled on the major concerns of the Western Cluster deal. What I want to say is that typically when these multinationals, mining corporations and other large business corporations come to Africa to do business in Liberia, it's not only, well, sadly, Liberia is one of those countries that get the short end of the stick. The primary objective of these multinational companies when it comes to, for instance, mining raw materials from Africa, and to be specific, in Liberia, the goal is extraction at minimal cost. These people are not interested in the health and the environmental well-being of the local people from the area in which they do business. They already have established, one of the callers, the other callers was talking about setting up processing plants in Liberia. No, these people, these multinational companies, we are all aware, they have their processing plants wherever they are, taking the raw materials to. So the primary objective is extraction at minimal cost. They don't care about the damage it's going to bring to the environment. They want to give money to who they can give money to, get what they want, get it out of the country. So it is on us, the people that are on the ground, it's on our leaders for whatever benefits that the local community, the local people can get from such business in their area, is to our Liberian people, our Liberian leaders, all those involved in these negotiations, to look out for the best interests of the people on the ground, because the multinationals, they do not care. The goal is extraction, get what we need, get out. And what's happening right now with this Western Cluster deal, I don't know much about it, so I'm not going to attack Senator Snow, but it saddens me that we will have, it seems like all the intellectual people, all of you on the panel, Liberians all around the world, We know a lot. We know how things are supposed to be done, but the people on the ground, or perhaps when you get to like, I want to use the term idiots. It seems like we have a bunch of idiots on the ground doing business, and then all the people that are supposed to know what's going on and how to do business are out of the country. Or perhaps when the intellectuals go to the country, then something happened to them, they automatically lose their intelligence and they themselves to become idiots. So it's a sad news. I'm following closely. I will get off the phone and I'm following you and panelists and just learning more about it. But it saddens me to, Liberia is our home, and one of these days we want to go back. The Labor was discussing some beautiful utopia of how Liberia used to be and what Liberia can be. But I'm sad to say that I lost hope. Liberia is a wasteland. People come. If we have environmental laws, I don't know, but if we do, they don't respect the laws. They do what they need to do. They get out. We talk about how things are supposed to be, but there's no tangible results on the ground. So I don't even think in our living generation, perhaps we're all going to be dead and gone, and our children children will benefit from a better Liberia. But I don't think we're going to see it in our times. But thanks a lot. That's all I have to say. I will continue to follow the show, sir.
Okay, my dear brother, thank you so much for chipping in. Look, and this is why we always encourage people here. This is it's a national issue. You don't have to be from the cluster, the bombing, and it's surrounding there before you can speak, because you don't know what's going to happen to your own or in your own area that you think, okay, it's not for me. I'm not part of it, so I don't want to be part. I don't think that that's the case. And these are very serious issue. And so we always encourage people to have their say as well. Now, since it the labor, here we are into this. Who's going to be the big boy in the house and say, hey, maybe we need to we got to read, we got to jump, we got to do something. Somebody got to push the buttons and take a revision. So who's going to do that now?
Well, I think the Minister of Justice, being the chief lawyer of the Republic, like Mr. So was saying, Mr. To was saying, there's a contract. So he has to now look at the contract and see if there are any loopholes and inform the Burmese citizens about their options. I think that's the only big boy right now we can listen to.
Would that even happen? And he's one of the signatories as well, from what we are hearing. He's one of the signatories. Would they have the guts, knowing the history of Liberian politicians and whatever people they are? Very few. I don't see them. It's unlikely here people take responsibility and say, I am held responsible. I am taking the blame. That's not going to happen.
I believe Musa Dean is a smart man. He managed to avert the crisis with the CPP hosting their rally at the place there and everything. When it was Zoga Wilson say when that happened, opposite what happened. So I think he can be a big boy in the room and come up with stuff.
Okay, the Liberal.
Yes.
Who you think going to take the lead in this yet and revisit all of these? And
excuse me, I'm sorry about that. But first thing, Mr. So I think if anybody gonna take the lead and what have you, they must come up and someone have to take full responsibility of the mess. That would be the first thing you would do. And if you come out and take responsibility of the mess, then your credibility will be a little bit stronger as you try to engage Liberians on this whole debacle or front food, whatever you want to call it.
I hate to do this. Who's going to do that? Who's going to take the lead?
Well, I hope once again I'm going to try to take the president out of it for now. Those who names and signatures that are on this thing representing the CDC and all among all of the list, names that I've been hearing about or reading about, I think the most responsible person and who have always acted as a responsible and intellectual among them will be Musa Dean. And so Musa Dean, not only does he need to come in and take responsibility, but he needs to come and disabuse the Liberians as well. First, seek the president's approval, and then you make a comment. Because eventually, if the citizen of Bomi and the other people, the other surrounding county, if they put together and take these people to court, the people most likely will want to suspend their operation while they're being taking care of business in court. And once the operation is suspended, the taxes will also be suspended. So all of those things have some sort of an effect on the country. While we're here arguing that these people must be the county must be treated, these people don't forget they're paying taxes to the Liberian government. Whether the taxes is being utilized for the purpose it's supposed to be, that's not my concern. My thing is the people are paying taxes. And so, Mr. So, I think was Musa Dane has done it before on several occasions. He needs to come again and help Sedition and CDC get out of this mess by taking responsibility as a government official, not taking responsibility as individual, and then explain all of because he can go into there and explain the law part of this whole contract, what exactly it is, because we are not lawyers. We're just speaking strictly from common sense, but he can come in and dissect the legal terms that is in this whole contract, and then perhaps he can say why things are the way they are. And I'm sure there are some sort of a loophole. I'm not going to call it loophole, but some sort of any deal. They're most likely as a way in there that you can back up if you want. I don't think anybody is tied to something for life, but I don't know that. So I think these people, in order for them to be credible on this, somebody have to take the responsibility. And I would say that the Honorable Musa Dane need to do that.
All right. Before I go to the caller here, Sissy, let me get your take here. I mean, we are already in the dens of the lions, the crocodiles, all pouring out of the swamp and coming out. Who needs to walk a fine line in this whole thing here to stabilize the situation?
I think the person who needed to walk the finest line is already taking himself out. Is Snow. In electrical engineering, electricity, when it's thunderstorm, there are certain things you don't want to be close to because they are conductors of electricity, right? So Snow has become the political conductor of electricity right now, and so because everybody's just targeting him, so I think it takes away.
Not to interrupt. Is that fair?
But it's political, and so everybody wants to have their 1 pound of meat from Snow, and so I think he did the right thing because the conversation was becoming more about Snow and less about the actual MOU and the Western Cluster deal. So by removing himself, I think it pivots back the conversation to what people are actually discussing, which is the issue. And I think the other person is doing very well right now. And I don't care what people say is not by design. I want to believe it's by design. Is the president of the republic. I think staying out of this for now is the best thing he can do, is the most leadership thing he can do, because he doesn't want to be seen as coming in either way to bias the process. And so, to allow Councilor Musa Dane to look at the legal aspects of this and come back to go to the bombing people and talk to them about, look, here's what the deal is. These are the ways we can get out, or we are not able to get out. And here are places that we have opportunities to make changes and to hold Western Cluster responsible to do certain things. I think he has to be the big boy, and I think he's done it before. I have to give him credit. He's done it before to avert a lot of crisis in the country. So I think he can do it.
So let me get you on record. We all too must be held accountable before I go to this number. If anybody were to come out tomorrow and begin to slam the president, say as usual, the president can't talk, will you be the legal counsel?
I will be number one coming out and saying that is asinine. That is not logical. There is a place where it will get to for the president to speak, but I don't think this is the place right now. When even the Minister of Justice has not spoken, when even the Internal Affairs Minister has not yet exhausted all of his thing, and the Lands Mines Minister has not even said much, and the EPA people have not. So I think that if anybody requiring the president to speak right now, it would be, I think they just be trying to pick for nothing fight. And to answer your question, if anybody, even if my own people came against the president right now, I will push back, because that would not be right. That would not be fair.
Welcome, Minister Walcott. That's the author. Do not wait. If you're waiting, go ahead to scatter. Let's go to this line here and bring in from Minneapolis and bring in the caller here, 612 number. Caller, good evening. What's your name and where you calling from? 0589. Are you there, caller? 612-0589 from Minneapolis.
Can you hear me?
I'm hearing you now.
Hello,
go
Mr. So.
Yeah,
Mr. So, can you hear me?
Yeah, we're hearing you now. Go ahead.
All right, yeah, thank you, Mr. So. My name is Derek Paul, calling from Minnesota.
Welcome.
Yeah, so for me, I want to take this whole conversation in the left field. And, I want to go on the extreme with this, because it bothers me a lot, right? I want to take this ratio because because the whole economic injustice, if you look all around, is Black people really being marginalized, and there are a group of Black Americans in America believe that their people were so into slavery by other Africans. Okay. Now, when you look at everything that's been happening to Liberia, you can just see the correlation. And for me, I say, you know what? I accept it. I think it's true. Everything from Firestone deal to the Nimakante bomb, all the German company, I can't even think of it right now. All these different deals have left Liberia with nothing but just economic injustice and complete slave labor. And it's just easy for our leadership to just go into closed doors with these people and just make deals that will just benefit the few and the rest of the people just suffer. Now, when you talk about slavery, people always look at white people, but no, the Indians, the Indians have the caste system. And the caste system, they discriminate against Black people in India. The Black people are the least. The Arabs, the same thing. So when people come to our country, you see Arab people beating African people in their own country. And when African people try to seek justice, there is no justice. So the people know exactly what is happening. They can walk into Africa, walk into Liberia, just give small money to the leadership, and the rest of the people will be, subjugated. So for me, that's the most hurtful thing. This thing is not simple. It's just been one thing, just one thing after another. It's just been our story. And for me, that's why I want to take this whole conversation. It's just nothing but few Black people selling other Black people to other nationality. And that's just our story. But thank you very much for the opportunity.
All right, Torita Sour Man, there always. Thank you always for being part of our conversation here. Okay. Our people, they are signing caviar here. Mr. George, Mommy said no fighting the liberal. Why people like this liberal guy? I don't get it.
But tell Mommy, nobody fighting. He don't look like their own trouble.
And welcome our man from Nairobi, Mr. Liberal, your man, Mr. Nairobi. He always calling people good evening. Good morning. I know it's very late on your end. Hopefully you will be joining us here soon. I see that coming. Thank you for chipping in. Okay, the man from the far right. Good evening. Welcome.
Sister, how you doing, Mr. To? Mr. So, how you doing?
Oh, we're doing very good. Welcome. It's better late than never. We have 30 minutes to go. Oh boy. Fire in the hole. Okay. Our man Walton Carter is a contributor pro GOL.
The man doing guerrilla warfare this time, you can hit it wrong.
But Carter, can you turn your camera sideways so that perhaps you will be clearly...
Sure.
There we go. That will show everything. There we go.
The liberal is trying to find a way how to fire at you because the guy being no, he was so firing up in his absence. He's here. I want to see if that history can be repeated.
I heard it already.
Then that means that one that you are talking. But why are you talking? You're trying to fight in the man with Carter, that Walmart Carter there. Why are you? Oh man. Please. Yeah.
look, man. I I got some schoolmates stopping by to do some work here with me. I just want to come on real quick, but I'm listening. I gotta listen to what on do it, but I'll listen online.
Okay.
Okay then. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, Amos George, welcome.
Yeah.
What can you hear? What can you tell us? This whole bombing thing here, it's alarming, and there are a lot of information. Is it a failed the slam dunk being hit on Ty Snow? I hope I have the chance to talk to him. But he been doing a lot of explanations. He been complaining. He been saying things. He been speaking out. Well, it's a different thing. The information coming out of him, what I can be authenticated, verified, whatever it is. But I think he has been very vocal and frown on this of lately and even in the past. So what should they be? What should be the focus point now? The damage is done already.
Yeah, you say anytime when you see people explaining too much, then they have a problem.
Uh-oh.
When
You
see
say
people
what?
explaining too when you see people explaining too much, they have a problem. Every snow has a problem.
Share with us.
Okay. I'm just going to quote his own words. One point he said they were in India for only one day. The minister said no, they were there for 5 days. Lands about minister. He said he did not sign the MOU. But who is Edwin Snow? Edwin Snow is the senator of Birmingham, one of those senators. You went to India, convinced people to come back. Good. You brought them back. The MOU was just a memorandum of understanding. Certain things were not done when the people left and the people wanted them to do it. So they prepared an MOU. But how can you say, the question I see anybody asking him, yeah, you did not sign the MOU. Have you ever seen the paper or did you read it? And if you did, what step you took? Did you go back to the people and say, hey, this MOU I see, I'm not satisfied with it. What do you people think? Did he do that? Nobody asked that question. And he said he didn't sign it. Good, you didn't sign it, but then you hear about it. Then you see it because that's your content. You brought the people in. So even if GOL is making any deed, you should be involved. If you are not involved, for whatever reason, make sure your people are informed because tomorrow they will point out, and this is what happened. And he's not being honest to say that I agree, he didn't sign an MOU. But have you not seen that MOU? And he was on spoon one time and said, yes, he saw the MOU. How can the MOU supersede the contract that people sign? And you, Edwin Snow, the senator, don't know anything about it and have not seen it? That's a question he need to answer. I didn't see all the meeting. He didn't answer no. They didn't ask no question. Then secondly, yeah, what you said?
No, go ahead. Before I bring, go ahead.
He said,
Wow.
the people.
Will you please don't disrupt our program, please? Why for what? To tell him to go ahead?
Wow.
If you want to hold me, you want to say something, you can answer a question, still go ahead.
Who cares for a while? If you are like the thing, the old man and run away, the guy left from here, went in the village, everything the old lady and say, wow, why is it? Wait, and I go take come in. Who cares about your wow? Mr. George, go ahead.
Yeah. He has said these things.
I am in charge.
Now, he is a head of the legislative caucus of Bombay. He said that he gave a proverb that you can't throw the baby away in the bucket. About 2 days or wherever he go. Today he come back, the people call him in the meeting, he say, well, my hand is out of it. Is that leadership? You went for the people, you brought them. There is problem. If you say you are men up, then that one is supposed to man up to this issue. Since your hands are clean, That one is supposed to prove to your people. Stay there, say, look, you know what happened? We are in it all together. That's why you put elected men will fight this thing. I have no fish to fry. The only idea brought these people, whatever the government went through, then the document was not even ratified.
So yeah, let me hold you right there. Let's have an engagement here. That's a logical argument there. Let me bring in Keto here. Senator Snow, from all indication, the soundbite coming out here seems to be the guy everybody blame. But Mr. George is also making a valid point. The left and wing. He flew thousands of miles to go to India, which is a good thing. Now the critical question now becomes, and this is where sometimes it kind of a little bit annoying when our people, colleagues, some of them having a conversation with these people. Questions. What were the terms of the agreement? What was the nature of the conversation prior to their coming? Did I reviewed the document because there was something that wasn't right in that interim they left. I'm quite sure this was already breeding within Bomi County and its environment, the entire cluster thing that there was some sort of discontent. People were not satisfied, things were running. Okay, it's good. You left, you are gone there now, managed to persuade them to come. But what was the conversation? What was the term of agreement? What did they agree to and they were unwilling to work with? Or you just say, okay, you come, we're talking, you're going on the ground, we're talking. What was the conversations? Is that a valid point?
Well, my understanding from both Snow and Samuel Johnson and other who've been talking about this whole MD and MOU, right? Was when they signed an MD, the MD asked, in fact, they started by saying you will build a railroad to leave from Bomi all the way to Douala and go to Freeport. But it was difficult to do that. It was a long route. So they decided to cut it short from Bomi through Cape Mount, enter to the Atlantic Ocean, and they were going to do that. But then the Ebola happened, whatever happened, and then the people left. It didn't take long, President. We have took over COVID-19. So according to Snow, the people of Bomi County was in diaspora. They had no job. Bomi County is so poor. So he tried to go out there to negotiate to bring these people back. Now, the term when he went to talk to them, the people said, "Look, all these years that we were in Liberia, we didn't take one iron ore from the ground. The government said we should pay back taxes." And so he said, "Yes, the people said we can't pay the back taxes." So Snow, talk to them to bring them to the country. And then the government said, convinced, they said, you got to pay back taxes regardless of why you pay the back taxes. But this is the point I want to try to make here. We have not seen the MOU. We have not seen the MD. But according to Snow and even former Senator Samuel Johnson, in the MD, they allow the people to do trucking. They were going to allow the people to do trucking for 3 years. After the 3 years, constructing the railroad from the mine Cape Mount to the Atlantic Ocean, where they will be shipping the ore from. Was no negotiated with people and brought the people back. It was based on taxes that they were negotiating on, and when they paid the taxes, they were supposed to upgrade the Bomi County to university status, and also give the county certain amount of money that will go to them. Now, I want to clarify some stuff here because I heard the Lpr beating on me and ceasing. When I spoke about dust, I was being sarcastic to the former senator and Eugene Fagon and all the people that are talking about dust. I was telling them, when was the last time these politicians realized that dust is harmful to Liberian people? Because they sat over there, they signed bogus agreement with companies. They didn't construct roads in our rural area. In the capital, driving on dust road, dust was going into people's nostrils, giving them sinus and all the different diseases you can think about. They didn't sign about it. Now they're talking about dust because they say the poor going to truck their ore. We got to be sincere with our Liberian people. And this is what I keep saying. Intellectuals that come to this disco and talk about Liberia, how we so poor, Why we got so much resources, but we still poor. And that not only a concern. When we allow these concession companies to come and just take our natural resources out, we are not doing our country any good, because the money they're giving us, we're going to use it and they're going to go. But if we allow them to open manufacturer industry or company manufacturer plant in the country where they will manufacture iron ore into finishing product, we can use those finishing product to construct our roads, such as steel rods, beams, steel plates, and build our infrastructure. The same way with Firestone. Firestone, when President we became president, he went to Firestone and said, look, you've been taking our rubber for so long. Even build a plan here to process the rubber thing. The Firestone told President that our rubber was not of grade to do any kind of rubber processing in Liberia. Today, we got an Indian man who said no. They produce rubber in Liberia, and they're building a factory in Wayala to produce tires, condoms, and gloves in Liberia. So our government, not only holding past government, even this present government, moving forward, or even this present agreement at all, they should go back to the drawing table and say, look, you cannot take our raw material from here and just carry it and leave holes in the ground like they did in bone mines and even the very bombing, and they're doing in Nima County. Build processing plant right in our country. We need the steel beams.
Okay. All right.
Making.
Okay. Thank you. Lebra,
Yes.
you've been listening keenly.
Yeah, of course. Seditian speaking. So I have to listen because I know they got nothing to offer. So at this point, they will try to haul here and haul there and try to throw everything and hope something will stick on the wall. But what they face to realize is that Liberians are not stupid anymore. Because I feel bad for you guys. Honestly, I feel bad for you guys. You want to tell me when Liberians realize that there's a dust problem in Liberia?
Mhm.
They know that. But because they have not been able to exercise that right freely before, that means they should no longer talk about it. And you and your people will bring in issue when people talking about dust. Then you say the people are speaking because maybe perhaps I'm just paraphrasing or putting words in your mouth because of jealousy or what have you. Far from it. Far from it. But this is not about us. Honestly, this type of conversation, for me, I feel happy. Even in as much as I don't agree with Carter, vehemently disagree with him on everything else, but we're discussing policy. We are not discussing personality. And that's something very interesting because eventually, whether CDC or even anybody opposition or whatever, they will find way that these kinds of stuff, they are not helpful to us as Liberians. What can we do to better the next concession that coming our way? What are some of the things this concession that is bringing out the worst out of the people that are bringing that this concession, why people are complaining about it? What are some of the complaints in there? So that the next time a concession comes to Liberia, they can tailor that concession to these kinds of conversations that will benefit our people. I think all of us, nobody is that would say that they all want is just people right or what have you. Every one of us are talking so that Liberians will benefit from whatever that comes in our country, not individual. And that's been our problem. That's been our problem. People will come in and try to make concession, and even the citizens themselves. They were their demands on the company. They are on some of them. You can't sustain them. You cannot. No company will be able to sustain it. Company coming to Liberia, they are there to make business and make profit. They are not there as a charity organization, and our people need to understand that. But how do you explain that to the people who believe those who are supposed to explain to them? They themselves are corrupt. They are not seeking the interest of the people. So if once these people find that this person who's, for example, me, I'm supposed to go and explain to people in Grand Jita County that they Putu Mountain or Jita Mountain, the concession is supposed to benefit the people. But yet they find out that my hand is already in the people cookie jars. Do you expect them to believe me when I try to say something? No. And that's what we're saying. Credibility is in these type of situations. They're very, very much important. But if they already suspect you of some sort of deriba, they have no respect and they will not listen to you. And these are some of the things that I'm saying. Credibility. A concession comes to concession company or whatever comes to Liberia. In order for them to sign, people want money. Okay, I'll give you an example, Mr. So I hope I'm not taking much of your time. Let me just give me 2 more minutes or even 1 minute the most.
What? 2 more minutes?
5 minutes. Okay. The point here, no, very serious now. Somebody coming in to sign an agreement. The people for exploration. You want them to pay you already, give you some upfront money and what have you. Fine. They're calculating that money they're giving you is in the profit. I mean, profit that they're supposed to make. So when they come in,
right
at the end, when the concession is all signed, the money they're supposed to take to go to the citizenry or the community for their school and thing, they look at it, it's okay, the school is 50,000. But before we even started the thing, we already spent 100,000. We cannot afford the school right now. So they will take their 50,000 they give you individual. They will take it from that. And the school for the community will not be built right away. They will tell the community, we haven't made any profit yet. Wait till we make some profit. And that's why the corrupt behavior is hurting everybody. Because these people, the company that are coming in, some of them are coming in with a clean hands. But they already start at the bottom of the deck. So they're not stupid. They will make whatever it is to get that thing, go sell it, or the money that's supposed to, if they make enough profit, they will be able to share with you. But if they're already in a hole and you want these people to say that is unacceptable. Mr. So, I think we need to do better than that. But the good thing before I end, the good thing that I like about these type of conversation is that we are having these conversations, and it's good.
Yeah. Look, usually to buy into your talking point, your idea, it's kind of a little bit different. But this one here, you actually,
Mr. So, I'm the best. I'm the best. Just give it to I'm the best. Center right cannot give you this kind of wonderful idea.
What you see that it's not even said.
So, and the reason I'm saying, the reason here is we have seen that, and we are all people talking that. When these businesses, these big companies, when they go there for exploration to do a feasibility studies to see if they can carry their establishment, our people, people just come in to say, let me come test the ground, let me come observe what if it is even safe, because in everything security comes first. They want to see business person, no matter what, it's all about business. Why you think the people you go to a mall here, they send this thing in your mail here, they giving you a coupon discount? You think they like you, or because you the only chosen one? No, it's because they want to create that business attachment with you. Oh, 50% coupon, 60% coupon. Even before that coupon is before it's applied, they have already done their calculation, taking stock, what to get in place of that to say, okay, yeah, something toward here. The other day he bought one of nice suit. So we need to send something that says we're giving 50% coupon. It's not because they like you, because they want to get something out of you. We are for long bash it. In the next 10-15 minutes, we'll be out of here. Let's pretend as if we were all lawmakers of Bomi County here. The ball is in our court. What should be the conversation now moving forward? What should they do and to get national government attention? Okay, the folks are already there too. Obviously, they do not want to leave, but they're going to get into a negotiation. So there will be somebody must be used as a sacrificial lamb into this whole thing, and come to some sort of logical and reasonable understanding to move ahead and maybe get back on the drawing board. What should they be doing? Amos George, if you were a senator, do you want to be Senator Snow or former Senator Johnson?
No, listen. let's clarify something here. Keta, you said something. The port was not to be built in Kidmont. The port should be built somehow of bombing, which was shorter because Mosorado was far. They went to look at Kidmont, they said it was too far. There was somewhere in Bombay a time they called that where that port should have been built shorter than the Mosorado and the Kidmont. Now, here's the thing here. Snow was one of those who helped to facilitate the community to start mining iron ore on that document. He signed to give them that status to start operating. During early time, that was the sticker point that they would not take 1 mile until the bill are put. That was the hoodoo they had there, that they would not drive those trucks on the road because the health hazard. They should build the port. That way it will air when the Ebola came or COVID came. When snow brought them back, they made them to abandon that process and say haul the ore to Morovia. With all the health hazard that they have told them, he didn't listen to it. He went ahead and he was signatory to upgrade people lesson to start mining because they only had exploration mining during that, so they could not mine to export any iron ore. It was Snow again who helped them to upgrade to that point. Now, the question answer to that, Senator, what will you be doing? If your hands are clean, GO can go back and say, let's look at the MD. It's time to implement the MD, not IMOU. No, the MD. They are not even signed it. They didn't sign it. The 6 months they talk about it have gone already. They have not signed that MD. So it's not time. If your hand is clean, but I'm not accusing them, but if you talk something from these people, put them in the impression that you don't have to bother with this. I will handle it, or we'll handle it. How can you go back to that now? To say you come to negotiate on behalf of your people. The man said about what you told the last time. So these are difficult things. If their hands are clean, they can go to the community. They can let the government go to the Capitol building so the MD can be reviewed, ratified by the Senate, and let the people continue. But if your hand is not clean, no. And Mr. Tory says something, let me push back. These people don't go, the citizens of the country don't go and start begging the people. It is what is speculated in the document. The document said that you're going to employ X number of people when you start your operation. And the people are sitting down there, you are bringing Ghanaians. You are offshore setting jobs to other companies. Why are you outsourcing the jobs? Because they don't want to pay benefits, insurance, all of them they don't want to pay. So they outsource those jobs to another company. That company intend to hire the people as contractors, which they got no benefit. So do you want people to sit down there and let the mineral be taken out? At the end of the day, then they become sick and victim of it? No. What? There's no company going in an area and the citizens start making unnecessary demand. What happening is what is speculated within the document. Up to now, the people, according to all the information, Snow said the people are hired people. Today, yeah, that they are not hired nobody. They don't even, Snow said that they have the former superintendent as HR manager. Today, what reviewed, no, this man is not hired as an HR manager. So, who is not honest? The people who brought them and the company themselves, they are not honest because you know what? You said something I will agree with you. The bottom line, everybody do business to make profit. So, if they can find someone to go now with and defraud the system or cheat the people, they will do it. That's the bottom line of business to make profit.
All right.
We must carry it out. These people, the people of bombing, are not putting pressure on the people for nothing. It was an obligation. Agreement is an agreement. And if the company is not living up to the side, the people have to really demand what the company is supposed to do. You've been there, I know, for more than 6 months, whatever. You don't have quite 200% employed with benefit. You don't have it. You got about 36 Ghanaian there working. Are those jobs that Liberian cannot do?
All right, guys. It's 9:54 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's give our departing statement. Who wants to go first?
Let me go first.
Let's hear
So,
from
so
you.
yeah, I just want to.
And let me make you the Minister of Justice, who is the Chief Prosecutor of the Republic of Liberia. I put his signature on that whole because there's a legal aspect to that as well. So we got to be very mindful here. If there will be revisitation, it means all of those documents has to be undue. They got to get into negotiation. They got to there will be a give and take process. So you are the acting Thai Musa. Frank Musa Dane here to review this document for the Western Cluster. Let's see.
God forbid.
So first of all, liberal, spare me.
They're running
Anyway.
away from it.
He's a mess. Why you not God forbid?
I will forgive the liberal because yesterday he had my back. I like how you keep me for me yesterday in my absence, so I will forgive you. But anyway, so this the thing,
Yeah.
right? First of all, do a PR to educate the people, and there where I want to even challenge LPR to ask for the MD and the MOU. Compare it. Let's do a comparison analysis of the MD and the MOU to see whether the MOU undermine the MD, and then we can make serious. We can start talking serious conversation here as to who dropped the ball, right? But if I were the justice minister, I would try to, because being knowledgeable about the law, I would try to also educate the people why the government took this stand to even introduce the MOU. And I don't think the government did it to harm its own people. So something has to be said to educate our people, in the fairest possible way. But again, it left with the Liberian people. I always say the opposition, the politicians in our country, most of them are not sincere people. They take information and they distort the information to glorify themselves. And that's what we've been seeing on social media in recent time. And that's what I got a problem with. Because these people sat in the very house, they crafted this deal, they put it out there, and I'm just surprised that I'm hearing my own Papa George telling us that the MD said the people should build railroad, they shouldn't take 1-0. When the MD, according to Snow and Johnson, they will allow the people to truck for 3 years before they construct the port. So let's get the MD and the MOU, revisit it, analyze it, and then we can speak to these issues.
Thank you
I
so
think-
much. Amos George.
Yeah, let me say this.
Your
I
closing.
think you're missing the point. This deal was not, the alien government did not give people permission to leave, for NO to leave the country. Never. They still had an expiration lesson. When Snow came in, that's when they gave them that lesson to start exporting. So it was one of your government who gave them the go ahead to start exporting. It was not Ellen. Ellen then insisted that the rail must be built. Your government came and said, no, you go ahead. So don't say, we were seeing that Ellen then signed 63 bookers contract, but you're wrapping all around you now. Musa Dean needs to come up and tell the Liberian people why they signed that MOU, what the basis of that MOU being signed when the MD had not been ratified by the Senate. Musa Dean should come and speak. He's the legal person. And the law says that before any company operate, that agreement must be ratified by the Senate. And it was not ratified as we speak. It's not ratified. But you gave them order to move iron ore. So let Musa Dean come and tell us why that happened.
All right.
CDC, you will not run from this. All people accuse Congo people. This one is also Yabalo and tobacco in it now.
Oh my God, we're gonna go to the Congo now.
9:58. The Liberal, what's your closing statement?
Good night, Mr. So. It was wonderful being on your show again tonight. And,
Thank you, Liberal. Thank you, Liberal. I like that.
Wait, so, Pat Joyce.
Yeah.
You said you were in the police before?
No.
He was that trouble.
All right, folks.
He was that trouble.
This-
He was that trouble.
this was trouble.
Answer the question.
I
He
want to
was
see,
that trouble
I
now.
want to see the depot that you were commanding. Yeah. They carry you there. I think the first thing they were put on number, I don't know, number 1, number 2, which one is the higher one? They were going your hand first before you even explain. You put it. All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
We should be having a group of girls. But
Thank you, guys.
I will put a message in the chat room. Yeah, thank you so much. Keto,
Good night.
The Liberal Progressive. Thank you so much. Okay, well, that's how we're going to draw the curtain down here this evening. To all our viewers, listeners, followers, your comments, your tweets, your interactions, we learn a lot from you in having these national conversations. We can't just do it by ourselves. These are very serious, difficult, and consequential time of our country. We're talking about Western cluster now. We don't know which other cluster going to come in here, but this speaks to the point of what is going on in Liberia. It's just not only this building that you see behind me here. The first branch of government, people that we trusted to make informed decisions, to our proxies, people who dare to argue, exchange, agree and disagree in chambers and put it into vote. Say, yeah, this is good for our country, this is good for our constituent. It's not happening that it should be. You and I, we have seen in this country, lawmakers, representative. There are two things: their country and the very constituent that they represent. So the late John McCain doing the thumbs down because he felt that was not right and that was his own conviction. How many of our people can do that? That's what happened when there is no coordination among the leaders, the caucus, regardless of you coming from party A, party B, party C. When it comes to the county for which you were elected to do a piece of job, for heaven's sake, take up time. I don't know, countless recesses and breaks you can go for you to discuss those things and even go back to your people and have a conversation. But that it is not done. And the idea, people will see something that is wrong, they sit, they witness it was facilitated, it becomes full grown, and then they want to wash their hands out of it because they are not there. That is also unfair. This is why if you are adult or you are a statesman in your town, in your community, be like an adult. When it's getting off hand, intercede, intercept, and put it together. Don't wait until the train is derailed and then you want to be the deal breaker. I think this is a lesson. I hope the people of this, out of the 3 counties involved in that, it is time for them to come together. You don't want a company to leave, but they can go back on the drawing board and revisit the contract and amendments and all of that. And that's why it is important, the Minister of Justice, because any concessions, any agreements in the Republic of Liberia, one of the chief custodians besides the National Investment Commission, there is a legal obligations or legal binding that if you don't take down, the country can be sued. And this is why the chief prosecutor of the Republic of Liberia, who happens to be the Minister of Justice, can always be a witness and signatory to those agreements if they are to take place. Because to everything there's a legal implication. And so he or she who want to be the minister or whatever within that season, the jurisdictions, it is under his jurisdiction that he reviews or she reviews all of those documents. And the laws of the country, the laws of the land, the locals, the state, the country, all of that factor in before something can take place. Unfortunately, they wait and wait until it get off hand, and then they try to manage crisis. If this is the first time on the network, this is the Liberia Public Radio. I am your host here, Angot Afonso Zienso. We want to thank you so much for your time, for the passion, for your commitment of your country to your country, despite of all of these crazy things that is going on. There are some things that we talk here you disagree with, all, but yet you come back because you believe you want to give us a second chance, and you still believe in your country something good to happen. We want to say kudos to you. Your tweets, your interaction, those that even calling, those that decide to be a silent callers as well. But by the fact that you are part of this company, also gives us the courage to have this conversation that we are having. This is the building that has been heavily contested. Waiting to see who is going to be in the Oval Office, whether it's the 8th floor or the 4th floor. That's the official residence of the President of the Republic of Liberia. This is why it's important that for us to have safer conversations in our country, in our community, in our towns, in our villages, our cities. If you're cussing, you can't achieve anything, because then you defeat the purpose of what you want to achieve. Because the noise is too much. So as a result, we do not listen to signal. Because there are some positive signals, there are some signals they don't travel with noise, but too much of drama going on. So things that we're supposed to grab way ahead, we allow it to go back, and then it becomes a crisis, and we tend to manage a crisis when we are not noted good at managing crisis. We create crisis, but we do not manage crisis. Here we are now. After 3 years, some of them were there. After 3 years, they've been saying those things, been going back and forth. After 3 years, they realized that the deal was not a good deal for the people of Bomi County, Republic of Liberia. After 3 years, they know that these people were not up to the task to live to their commitment. After 3 years, they knew that those trucks were flying, coming, and the medical or some sort of hierarchical post to there. After 3 years, yet they knew those people were there. Nobody had the guts to call them and say, hey, we agree X, Y, Z, but see what is happening now. There's a need that we take a revisit to these contracts and see what is there for our people. It becomes a crisis. No one is managing it. You're leaving all with explanations, job on exercise. We who know, we didn't know. We haven't heard it now. You two having severe pain from this whole thing. It becomes so annoying now, and everybody going nuts with this whole thing here. It's because part of that, we just elect people. So we need to be holding the first branch of government equally responsible. No, it is a challenge to us. We as a facilitator, as an Angos, and you as a citizen, to also do your part in making sure that you have people who will represent you. How are you going to do it? You are the determining factor, not me. But it's all about the country. Don't wait. Folks, if you can subscribe, you can follow us so that you can get a notification alert when we are on, and that you'll be able to be part of the talking point. Until then, time check is 10:07 Eastern Standard Time right here at the New England Bureau of the Liberia Public Radio. I want to thank you so much for your time this morning, this evening, depending on your location. And by God's willing, same time, same station, tomorrow we are off. We'll be back here Friday with another edition of Lpr-Tv Live with the panelists. And hopefully the ladies will be in the house. Until then, have a pleasant evening.
DJ Square Production Classic today.
Oh, don't wait. Don't wait. Don't wait. Don't wait. We are done. Don't wait. Don't wait. Don't wait till I die.
That's what the songwriter is saying. Don't wait. We'll wait until it get out of our hands, and we're trying to find a way out of no way.
Don't wait, yeah. Don't wait. Don't wait, my brother. Don't wait. Don't wait. My sister, don't wait. Don't wait. Don't wait till I'm in the hospital. Don't wait. Don't wait. I'm dying. Don't wait. Don't wait. I need your help. Don't wait. Don't wait. Don't wait till I die. Please help me. Don't wait. Don't wait. Don't wait. Don't wait. Don't wait. Don't wait. I need you help me now. Don't wait. Don't wait. Don't wait till I die before you help me. If you want to help me right now. Don't wait, oh sister, don't wait. I said don't wait, my brethren, don't wait.
And by the way, you can get this piece, and that's what we do here. We showcase the beauty, the qualities of Liberian artists, gospel, secular, whatever it is. Go on the YouTube channel. This is, I just love this music at the side, the rhythm, the message contain is very much important. Go on YouTube and just search for Minister Jemima Workout, and you're going to see it. You can subscribe and follow it, and you'll be able to get a new releases. The song is loaded. Listen a little bit, and we will say good night and good morning to your location.
Don't wait till I die before you help me. I need your help. Help me right now. I'm in the hospital, lying on my sick bed. I just need you to help me one my life, and Jehovah will bless you. Don't wait till I die to rain cast and get my body to the grave. I said don't wait when I die before you praise me. Don't wait when I die to cry for me, man. Oh, don't wait when I die to post my photo. This woman was so sick. She was saying got a point of day. I said she went from place to place, but she could not get the treatment she needed. Finally, her son took her to the hospital. And the doctor said,
Mr. Andrew, thank you so much for jumping in. It's
but
better
this
than
woman could not
ever.
afford the money.
My own man Samuel Sharp.
Oh, yeah.
Sharp, good evening. Thank you so much. Sylvester, thank you for your time this evening.
He
Mr.
left the mother
Jacob,
at the hospital.
Mandy Woods,
He
and
went
of
to forgive
course,
him.
our prime time follower, Mommy Esther.
He
Thank
went
you
to
so much.
Uncle
Tyler
Johnny's
Harris,
place. He said,
Watching
Uncle, my
down.
mother is dying.
Joy
I
Sharp,
left my mother at the
thank you so
hospital.
much.
The
Ryan,
doctor said,
Zaria, Molba, hopefully I caught it good. And of course, Vida is in the house. Thank you so much for your time. Achimo Fredericks, what do you play? So thank you so much. And our own man Joe today in Nairobi, Kenya. He's one of our analysts. Hopefully he'll be joining us there very soon. So Mani, thank you so much. Georgia Song, Ellis, Ismail Teresa, Wow, Mother Teresa, Wow, they there in Des Moines, Iowa. Jacob, Robert Kennedy, thank you for your time this evening. If you have not subscribed or followed Lpr, please do. Mr. Kennedy, Nancy, thank you so much for being here. Samuel Jacob, Coach, James Show, Jefferson Day, Matilda, thank you. Mila, that's a good one. Mila, Ganyan George and Maria, thank you so much this evening, this morning, no matter wherever you are, and of course, South Korea, Ruth Roslyn Townsend, Washington for France, Christian Nantai Canberra, thank you so much for your time. Of course, David Gifford, and not forgetting our own Browntown listener, Mr. Wilson Boyle, Martin Dole, thank you so much. We salute you, Elton Tar, and of course my own name, Prince Dubba, the man from the Boilers Room, right there in Louisville, Kentucky. Short man, like Edwin Snow. Prince, don't start trouble here, please. Wilson, Samuel Wilson, thank you so much, and of course our own man control from North Carolina. Thank you so much, Bob Jerry, Archie Bidal. And of course, the author herself of the song, Minister Jemima M. Workout, right there in the West African state of the Republic of Liberia. This is a masterpiece. Thank you so much.
I wish I will. He left me, went to Uncle Bob's place.
Oh, man, don't wait.
Papa was so rich. He was rich, he have everything for his
You can follow her channels on YouTube by
is
just typing your
I
name,
left
and
my
you will be
mother
able to
that
get
was
alert to new releases as it comes
and
forth.
I can say,
Be the first to
would you
know.
bring Papa no
5 pound of blood.
Uncle, please.
Uncle,
Don't allow
begging
my
for
mother
mercy
die.
for divine intervention.
Uncle,
Until then,
please.
folks,
Don't
I
allow
am
my
Alfonso
mother die.
James, and this is how we're going to hang the curtain
My
on this
last
new
hope,
note. Thank you
my
so
last
much.
strength, my last
We'll
hope.
see you all.
Uncle, please. Don't allow my mother.
We want to bring you this obituary announcement from our obituary photo of the Liberia Public Radio 10 Lpr-Tv. It is with profound sadness that we inform you the death of our beloved husband, father, brother, uncle, grandfather, and great-grandfather, Brigadier General Tawala G. Dennis, formerly of the Armed Forces of the Republic of Liberia, who passed away peacefully at his residence on November 22nd, 2022 in Worcester County, Massachusetts, USA. General Willard G. Dennis is survived by his wife, Mrs. Martha G. Dennis, 20 children, 54 grandchildren, 28 grandchildren, and several hosts of relatives and friends in the USA, Liberia, Europe, Asia, and other parts of the world. Waykeepings and funeral services of the late Brigadier General Willard G. Dennis will be held on the 20th and 21st of January 2023 at the AME Zion's Church on 55 Illinois Street, Worcester County, Massachusetts. Pa Willard G. Dennis wishes he be buried in his hometown of Boca Town in Grangeda County, Bazant District. This announcement was brought into Liberia Public Radio by Mrs. Martha G. Dennis, widow of the deceased, and Mr. P. Dennis, brothers of the deceased of the family.